Time of year it's cold, it can be dreary, we aren't spending much time outdoors, and all that can really affect your mental health. This afternoon we have Dr. Doug Misquitta, a psychiatrist with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, joining us to go over some ways to fight seasonal affective disorder. Doctor, some say we're in the most depressing days of the year, and if just temperature alone is enough to make anybody feel kind of down in the dumps, right?
Very true. And while we can't boil it down to one particular year or one particular day, I should say that's more depressing, there are probably millions of people who are struggling with depression, probably began in fall or winter of this year and could continue for January and February, a very real problem.
Yeah, I know that if I'm not seeing the sun a whole lot, or, if I'm not able to go outside and spend some time outdoors, I'm not feeling my best. So what can some people do to combat some of these symptoms?
I think the most important thing is to not sit with it. Please do make that effort to be involved, to stay in touch with the people who you care about, to be involved with activities. You're right, it might be that we can't get out into the sunlight as much, or activities we're usually doing aren't available, but make the effort to find those things that can be helpful for you. And don't sit with it, don't sit with the depression, and reach out for help if you need it.
Yeah, I think sometimes people are just like, well, it's, just the season and, I'll just deal with it. But, there really could be some effective tools that people might have at their disposal if they just reach out and maybe talk to somebody, get some help. And, so when you're talking with patients, what are some of the things that you'll suggest to them to help boost their mood this time of year?
Like you said, I know it's a hard effort for people who are depressed, so I do want them to make the effort, even if it's a struggle. I don't want them to stay alone with it and not let people know that they're struggling. So let those close to you know that you are. And if those things aren't enough, activities and the people who are close, then do reach out to help. Reach out to your family physician, to your OBGYN. Maybe you already have a therapist or psychiatrist. And if you don't have one, look for one. Look on the internet. Ask your providers for help. Take those steps to get in with somebody who can help you get out of what you're feeling.
I think sometimes what even helps me is if I'm just, sitting and cuddled on the couch, things like that. Even if I get up and walk around, even the house or things like that, how does, exercise, does that, help boost a mood? Can it help?
Exercise is tremendous, you're right. If you can't get outdoors to run, maybe you've got a treadmill. Maybe there are things you can do in your living room, hit push-ups or sit-ups. Activity is tremendous and huge. So those are great ideas and examples. Sometimes travel can help too. Maybe someone has the means or the ability to get out of town for a little bit, get to warmer weather, and then come back when it's nicer here. But if you can't do those things, as many can't, exercise and good self-care are huge, and reaching for those activities that you can.
Self-care, as you mentioned, I think this time of year, sometimes we want to eat all the comfort food. Let's load up on bread and carbs or treats and goodies. How can our diet affect how we're feeling?
Often people are overweight, overeating, as you said, which can lead to being overweight. People can reach for those snacks to make them feel better, but then often afterwards they're feeling worse. It makes a difference. And if you can make the effort to reach for something healthier, for those fruits, for those vegetables, drinking a lot of water, staying hydrated, those things will go very well with an active lifestyle and with exercise.
And what about sleep? I think sometimes we don't want to get out of bed, but other times we just, what is a healthy amount of sleep that we should be getting every night?
Perhaps 7 to 8 hours or 7 to 9 hours. You're right that many people, when they're depressed, want to stay in bed. They don't want to get up and get to the things that they need to. So 7, 8, 9 hours, and then try to get up out of bed, get your day started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then get yourself up and to those people who are meaningful to you, to those activities, to the exercise. Get your day started as best as you can.
That's the hardest part sometimes, but once you get up and you get moving, that's a great start. And, as I mentioned, sunlight, sometimes I really miss it this time of year. So is there something that people can do in terms of light therapy to help with that?
There is. There's something called a light box, which people can obtain probably from any pharmacy, even online, they can be ordered. And it's as simple as turning it on for 30 minutes in the morning and getting exposure to light, usually to 10,000 lux is a setting that can be very helpful. And even if it's not the same as natural light, it's a great substitute, or at least it's the best we can do when we don't have access to light, can really pick up people's moods and help how they're feeling.
I know our local libraries around here have some that you can sit in front of, and so you can get one of those for free, maybe even rent one. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Glad to be with you. Thank you.
All right. Well.